Hello everyone, we are back with a new week, the element of earth, and we're going to be doing a guided meditation along with some teachings. This is based on meditation practice that I used to facilitate, and I still do off and on, back when I used to work at Mystic Water Kava Bar. And there was 12 different type of classes that I would facilitate, and I would go back and forth and recycle them. And the name that I've called this series is Metatron's Meditations. This will be class number 4, but it's going to be episode number 5. So along these lines, what I like to do first is talk about different tools of awareness. And I've talked about these things in previous Earth videos, but I want to remind everyone as to what these awareness techniques are. So I'm going to go over 3 different awareness techniques. So the first one, we're just going to close our eyes. Wherever you are, make sure your posture is upright and straight. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Letting go of the day. Letting go of how you got here. Letting go of where you have to be when you leave here. Taking another deep inhale in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Last deep inhale, holding for 10 seconds. Deep inhale in. Hold that breath. Slowly exhaling out the mouth. Still keeping the eyes closed. I want you to begin placing your attention and your focus on your body. Noticing the sensations on the skin. And as you begin to place your focus and awareness on the body, begin to recreate what you looked like before you closed your eyes. The position that your body is in, the clothes that you're wearing, the colors, the textures. Begin to visualize a camera floating right above you, behind you, witnessing, observing how straight your back is. You're going to utilize that point of reference, that point of focus, to switch your attention and awareness to. So begin to switch your awareness to that camera, witnessing your physical body, witnessing your chest rising and falling as you begin to rotate that camera in different directions, maybe looking at your head from above, looking at yourself from in front of you, seeing your face from all different types of angles. This is the camera method, the observer method. And just play with this visualization for a moment. Just witnessing yourself from different angles. Begin to bring your attention and focus back to the body, back to the breath. Feeling how your chest rises and falls. Taking another deep inhale into the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Last deep inhale, hold for 10 seconds. Deep inhale in. Hold the breath. Exhaling slowly out the mouth. Breathing normally. Slowly opening your eyes, reacclimating yourself into this room, into the environment that you're in. that's 2 practices that we went over just now. Grounding breath. So when you inhale through the nose, out the mouth twice, and then you inhale for 10 seconds, hold. Anytime you feel extreme stress or anxiety, remind yourself to come back to the breath. Anytime you lose sight or focus and you get lost in the game that we're in, use the camera, witness yourself like you're in the Truman Show. Be the observer of your actions and respond to situations rather than reacting. And the final one to remind you all of is moving slower. Take a day or a certain time period and just move slow. Every action you do, move very slow. It's called the sloth method. Just move like a sloth. If you're walking, walk slow. I personally have a tendency of walking fast. So it helps for me when I walk slower, when I move slower, to be more mindful of how I tell my muscles to move, my body to move. So with this particular class, the focus is on the chakras. And some of you may already know about the chakras, but I'm going to see if I can share some information that you may not know. Before we get into the chakras, as part of this class, because I have my notes from when I used to teach this at the kava bar, I have written down selenite and sage. Now, just as the chakras are the selenite and sage, these are all different tools for you to utilize to remind yourself of your abilities, to remind yourself of your power. But the one key thing is to not get lost and not give your power away to these things, realizing that you're just using them as a prop to convince the logical side of mind that the action done is going to yield the intention that you've set. So for example, crystals don't necessarily have an innate ability to them. You're assigning a specific ability to them based on what you've read or what you personally have experienced with them. So that is your association with them. Same with sage. When you want to clean a space, when you want to cleanse a space, you can just as easily cleanse the space by just closing the eyes and expanding your field in all directions in the space that you're in, and visualizing like a white light expanding in all directions, and that can cleanse the space if you want to. Or you can actually address it within yourself and kind of do a little emotional digging and see where that sense of unease is coming from. So I wanted to explain that. Okay, so for the chakras, there's 7 main chakras that we have, and there's a lot more when you get into higher realms. I personally don't know them yet, simply because I just haven't placed any emphasis on discovering what they are. I'm sure I've played with them unconsciously, and when I've done astral projections, however, I don't know the names of them or the purposes of them just yet. It hasn't been my point of focus. But for the 7, the reason why I know them is because I practiced Reiki for a while, and I've learned that Reiki is simply just energy healing using sigils, and you're essentially tapping into the collective consciousness of what a sigil is and how long a particular group of people have programmed that sigil. So you're tapping into that and then using that sigil on other people to support them. So that's all Reiki is, in my opinion. You're just using energy, letting it flow through you, and it doesn't have to have a label of Reiki. It's just energy work. So chakras. So the reason why chakras are important, in my opinion, is because when you begin to pay attention to them, you begin to place more focus and awareness, and you have more tools at your disposal so that you can figure out and navigate where to go to address a certain emotion or address a certain illness or address whatever it is that's coming up in your reality. So I'm going to go over the 7 chakras, starting from the base. The bottom one is the root chakra. Root chakra is red. Zoe agrees. That has to do with safety, significance, insecurities, and the next one above. I'm actually going to go in through a couple more things into the chakras after I go through these. The next one above is the sacral. Sacral is orange. That has to do with sexual energy and creativity. The third one is solar plexus. Solar plexus is above the belly button. Sacral is below the belly button, above the sexual organ, and root is below the sexual organ, in between. Solar plexus is yellow. That has to do with manifestation, willpower, abundance, discipline. Heart is green. Heart chakra, self-love, love for others, unconditional love for you and those around you. Throat, communication, honesty, integrity. Third eye. Throat is light blue, apologies. Third eye, purple. Awareness, intuition, insight. Revelations. Top, crown, white. Downloads, epiphanies that seem like they weren't yours, but for some reason they were spoken to you. So now, based on those chakras, the reason why I'm sharing them is our body is a communications device. I look at our body as like an astronaut suit. So an astronaut suit has all these different nodes and uses. So anytime I feel ill, or if I stub my toe, or if I hurt my body physically, or if there's something internally going on, the very first thing I like to do is I trace where it is. So for example, maybe I woke up out of bed and I stubbed my toe. That's a representation of the root chakra. Root chakra, because it's everything below the waist, below the sexual organ. So because I've correlated it to that, because I've stubbed my toe, and now because of that experience, I get to ask myself, okay, where in my life am I feeling insecure? Where in my life am I feeling not safe? Where in my life am I not being grounded? Because to stub your toe is to not be grounded. Because if you stub your toe and you're actually aware of what's going on, you wouldn't have stubbed your toe. So there's a reason why that experience happened. Every experience is valid. Every experience has a lesson in it. You're not just having these things being created for no reason. If you really sit down with it and just observe what's going on, you can trace it back to certain things. So going up, sacral chakra. So in some of my other videos, I explained that I used to have an STD, and I healed myself of it using awareness, using energy healing, colloidal silver, and there's a video about it. You can go on my on the YouTube popular section for that on my channel. But sacral chakra, if there's anything going on with your sexual energy, or your lack of creativity, or overzealous sexual energy, or too much creativity and too far out there, another representation could be if you have an STD. This could be a representation that your sacral chakra is out of alignment, and it's time for you to pay attention to it. It's time for you to give love to that area. How do you do that? And there's many different ways. You can just place your hand in that certain location, visualize energy coming from the top of the head, going through the hands into that location as you're saying certain mantras out loud, or saying I love you, having certain visualizations, which it can be like going down into the blood level, into the cellular level, and really appreciating all of those cells as if they were human beings, which is the micro and macrocosm, because those cells are essentially a human. It's just really, really tiny. So moving up, solar plexus. Solar plexus is willpower, abundance, discipline. So you may notice some people that their guts are huge, their guts are big. Some people eat a lot. They have bigger bodies, bigger bellies. To me, when I see that, that lets me know that they don't have too much willpower. Because if they had willpower, and I'm sure some of you who are going to be watching this may have some comments about that, but people who have general willpower, I feel, in my opinion, their stomachs will be not as large or elongated. So if you have issues with your stomach, digestion, all those things that have to do with the stomach itself, It can be a misalignment of your solar plexus. So it's time to give love to your solar plexus. And you can do that as well the same way how you did with the sacral. You can also listen to binaural beats that correlate to those specific waves, those sound waves that are for the solar plexus. Moving on, heart. Say you have heart conditions or heart issues or some type of cancer in the lungs in that area. Maybe you have issues there. So that could be a representation that there is a lack of love somewhere, that you get to love yourself in some way, or either look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself affirmations, really analyze your past and go into those past moments and with the awareness that you have now, and give love to that version of you. For example, for me, I had a lot of issues with cold water, so I would go back in time to those moments where the trauma was created, and I would purposely put cold water on me to relive that moment and give love to that child version of me who felt alone and was feeling hurt in that time. So that could be a representation that you get to give love to yourself if you have issues with the heart. So it's important to pay attention to everything that's going on in the body, even the slightest itch, the slightest movement, the slightest pain. Pay attention to all of it, because it's a communications. It's not a coincidence that you're feeling certain things in the body. So that's the heart. Throat. Some of you have issues with, or some of you have throat issues, or some of you get colds a lot and sores in the throat, or things that happen in that area. That could be a representation that you're not speaking your truth. You're lying to yourself about something. Communication, you're not communicating properly. The moment that you freely express without judging yourself and without thinking that another person's going to judge you, because all that is just your own judgment of what you're going to speak out loud, and you're just making it about the other person. But if you really made it about you, you can address that, and that illness will go away once you start speaking your truth. You start speaking how you feel. Third eye. Some of you may have headaches or migraines or just issues in this particular area of the head. That can be a representation that you're not listening to your internal compass. You're not listening to your morality. You're not listening to the integrity. You're not listening to that guiding voice that's like, hey, you could just do this. No, that'll be too easy to do that. I'm going to do this instead. Darn, I should have listened to that. And that's the internal compass. Same for the crown. It has to do with migraines, I feel. It's just receiving information from source consciousness to kind of guide you through. You may experience clairaudience when that's pretty open. What is clairaudience? Clairaudience is simply hearing a voice in a different dialect or in a different tonality that isn't yours, that's coming from an outside source, and it's not coming from inside the brain. Also, I wanted to discuss the back. In Chinese medicine, the back represents our past. So just like how we just went through the chakras in that way, say for instance you have lower back issues, upper back issues, mid back issues, correlated to a chakra, and then understand that it's coming up because there's a past experience of it. So for the lower chakras, lower back, explore if any of you were sexually abused and you're still holding resentment towards that person that did it to you. It's time to forgive. I know for some of you it's difficult to forgive what may have happened in the past. I personally have been sexually abused as well by multiple members within my family dynamic. And it was difficult to release the resentment and the anger because they didn't want to take ownership of it when I confronted them about it. And it's all right. But do you really want to live the rest of your life with that resentment and that anger towards that moment? Or do you want to realize that that was a co-created moment to bring you to the state that you're in right now? It may have been your catalyst for your spiritual growth. It may have been your catalyst to be able to heal that so that then you could speak to other people and share your story to create a bridge of vulnerability so then they can share their experiences. Right? So really explore if there's lower back issues and see if you can correlate it to those things. It may not even be related to that, but again, with everything that I share, these are just my experiences, my opinions, and you can take it or leave it. But I just know from my own practices that these things have helped me heal a lot of my trauma, heal a lot of my physical things that I had with my body. So I'm going to get into a quote. I'm going to say a quote before we go actually into a brief chakra flower meditation, which we're going to go through each chakra, and we are going to open a flower in each location, absorb some light into there, and then leave those flowers open. Okay, so this quote is, "The knowing of chakras are similar to the knowing of different doors or gates in your life. Once you begin to open these in your life, you can begin to balance aspects of your life by knowing where different emotions are generated. That way, you can address these certain aspects one by one until each door is completely open to the energies that travel among each of them. Each of them equally as important in the remembrance of the true you. Once all are aligned and open to you, can begin getting answers to many of your life questions." So essentially what that is saying is, the more you know about every aspect of what you are and who you are, you can unlock doors little by little by uncovering the chakras, exploring that. There's a reason why the chakras have been around for hundreds of years and practiced by yogis, and just knowing those particular energetic areas. Okay, so we're going to go into a brief, let's do like 10 minutes, a 10-minute meditation. Okay. So go ahead and close the eyes. Make sure your back is straight. Take a deep inhale into the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Breathe normally. Begin to place your attention and focus at the base of the spine, between the sexual organ, and begin visualizing a beautiful red flower in that space. Any type of flower that you want to visualize. Maybe a lotus if you know what a lotus flower looks like. Visualizing it open, blossoming. And there's an opening in the center of that flower to absorb light from the earth. Visualize all the light from the center of the earth coming up in through that space, feeling that chakra. Keeping your attention and focus there. Now moving on to the sacral chakra, orange, below the belly button, above the sexual organ. Visualize a beautiful orange flower begin to emerge in this location. And in the center of the flower there is an opening. And through the center of the flower you begin to see light beginning to be absorbed, energy beginning to be absorbed through that location, recharging your sacral chakra, the channel for sexual energy and creativity, rebalancing it, repurposing it. See the energy begin to spin in a clockwise motion as it begins to circulate in through that opening of the flower, collecting like a cauldron. Moving up, solar plexus, above the belly button, below the heart. Visualizing a beautiful yellow flower beginning to emerge from that location, blossoming and opening. Visualizing energy coming in through the opening, spinning clockwise once it goes in through the opening in that general location, providing you additional willpower, more discipline, so that you can manifest the things that you want in your life. Keeping that open, beginning to move up to the neck, placing your focus at the heart chakra, green, visualizing a beautiful green flower beginning to emerge from the chest. In the center of the opening, there's light beginning to be absorbed in through the chest, spinning in a clockwise motion once it enters into the chest. Opening yourself up to love, unconditional love, acceptance for what has been and what will be. Love for yourself and love for others. Forgiveness, understanding, compassion. Moving up. Throat. The throat chakra, light blue. Beginning to visualize a light blue flower beginning to emerge in the location. And in the center of the location is an opening to receive light from all around you, energy from all around you, going in through that location and spinning in a clockwise motion. Once in the throat, rebalancing your communication with self, communication with others, honesty, integrity, truth. It's time to speak your truth. No longer judging what you have to say as irrelevant. You all have the knowledge within you. Speak how you feel. It's time. Moving your attention and focus to the forehead, third eye chakra, purple. Beginning to visualize a purple flower beginning to emerge from this location. At the center of the flower, there is an opening to allow light, energy to flow in through it. Beginning to spin in a clockwise motion, providing you further intuition, insight, a louder intuitional voice to guide you so that you can accurately hear it properly. Final, begin to bring your attention to the top of the head, crown chakra, white. A white flower begins to emerge in the top of the head, connecting to source consciousness, God, whatever you choose to believe in, but it's connecting to that central source, pulling in all of the wisdom, creating a circuit above and below. You are that circuit. Visualizing that energy circulating in through the crown and rotating in a clockwise motion, reintegrating yourself into the source consciousness, reintegrating yourself into the knowing that you are all powerful, no longer holding ourselves small, remembering your divinity, remembering who you are and what you chose to do here in this space and time. Now if you begin to take your awareness and attention into the camera method, to visualize what it looks like with all the chakras open, all the flowers open, all the lights and energies flowing in through 7 keys, 7 gateways of the body. Observe it from an outside perspective, from different angles. Witnessing how still you are in this moment. Witnessing the mind, if it's lingering, simply bringing it back to the visualization of witnessing yourself being open in these 7 gateways. Bring your focus back to your breath. Take an inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Fill the belly up with air first. Exhale out the mouth. Suck the belly back towards the spine. Hold the air out as the belly is tucked in. Deep inhale through the nose. Fill the belly up with air. Hold for 10 seconds. Hold this breath and just analyze what you feel. Where your mind is going. Is it lingering still? Are you thinking about the past? Are you thinking about the future? Or are you being with the breath, with the sensations the body is creating? Slowly exhale out the mouth, suck the belly back in towards the spine. Beginning to breathe normally. Still keeping the eyes closed. Begin to create a ball of light in the center of the chest, the size of a golf ball. Every inhale you take, visualizing that golf ball expand in all directions, filling it up like a balloon, seeing it get larger and larger until it is 3 to 4 feet outside of the physical body and your physical body is within it. And anyone that sets foot in that field will experience remembrance, will experience clarity, wisdom, just as you are. One final inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Breathing normally. Slowly opening the eyes. Reacclimating yourself into this room. Knowing that those chakra points are still open. And you could choose to mentally, after this video, close them one by one if you want, or leave them open. That's totally up to you and what experience you wish to have. For me, I generally like to leave them open so that I'm in a constant state of receiving. So that is the flow for today in this week, the element of Earth, Metatron's Meditations, number 4, episode 5. Thank you everyone for participating in this class and taking the time out of your day to give love to yourself, to give love to that temple, honoring yourself. Thank you. Have an awesome week.